Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through all the books that if I've not read these books by the end of the year, they're out. They're being unhauled, they're off the shelves, they're getting out of my life because I've owned them for too long and haven't read them. Now reading is all about fun, so I'm not going to force myself to read these books. If it gets to the end of the year and I'm still not in the mood, they're just going to go because, as I said, I've owned them for such a long time. If I was going to feel so compelled to pick them up, I would have. I do want to at least try and read them all. I can DNF them if I want to, but I want to try because I know that sometimes there are, like, you know, there's hidden gems where you don't think you'll like it. Perfect example is the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. I read the first one, soft DNF'd it after like a chapter. I thought this might not be for me, and now it's one of my favourite series ever. So I do want to give these a go, but if that's not happened by the end of the year, I'm not gonna, like, I've owned them for years. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a few more months, and then if I'm still not being compelled to pick them up, I'm just gonna donate them because there's so many books that I'm so excited to read. I don't want to feel like bogged down and pressured to read all of these books that I might just not be interested in anymore. So we've got two kind of categories. We've got books that I've started reading and never finished, so we're gonna start with them. These are all books though, most of them I'm not very far in. So I've got some books that I'm like halfway through and I just need to finish off. Most of these here are like I read a few pages and then I couldn't even get any further and I put them down. So let's start with them and then we'll go on to the books that I've not even tried to read, but I just need to read them. Like, I've owned them for so long. So the first one is 20s Girl by Sophie Kinsella. I just don't think this is my type of book. Like, I bought it from a charity shop on a whim when I was getting back into reading, and I just used to buy like any book ever. But I just don't think this is my genre. It's like silly 2000s vibes. And I think that is my genre when it comes to films. I just don't feel like it translates that well for me in books. This is, I can't even really explain what it's about. Like, it's got ghosts in it and I don't know, weird stuff going on in this book. She's trying to get her ex back, which, again, I'm not saying I've never got back with an ex, guys, because I have, but it's not really the romance I want to read, is it? I want to escape real life, not read about getting back with an ex. Because it's not like a second chance romance in like a cute way. It's just like silly, but not, I don't find the silliness in this that funny, personally. So yeah, that is the first one. If I've not finished this by the end of the year, it's going back to the charity shop where it came from. The next one, I can never remember the title. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I've heard great things about this, but I'm really struggling with the writing style. I'm only on page 41. Yeah, and I'm just really struggling with how it's written. I feel like it's trying to be too quirky. And like, it's a YA, so like it's gonna have a bit of quirkiness, and I like that. I also love that it's a male-male romance, isn't it? I'm sure I've not even got that far in, but I'm pretty sure it is. So I like that representation, but I have also heard that there are some problematic elements to this book. So that, combined with the fact that I'm not gelling with the writing style, it's making it quite hard for me to push on. But I am going to give it a go and see what I kind of think about it. But yeah, the writing style is just difficult. I don't even, again, I'm struggling to explain it. It's like very just like dun 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 dun. Like, it's, there's like, I hate info dumping, right? I hate it when we just have 8,000 pages to describe like a war. But this is the so polar opposite of that, to the point where like we're not getting enough. It's like one line speech. Like, look at this conversation here that they have. This isn't a spoiler, it's just a random conversation. The dialogue's weird. Like, do you not, like, what about a relative clause, you know? What about some commas? We don't need long sentences, but, you know, something that's just, I don't know. I think it's trying to be too quirky and it doesn't need to. Like, just let it be what it is. I don't understand why he's trying so hard to be quirky. Anyway, next one, A Country Village Christmas. I'm going to wait until this Christmas. If I don't feel compelled to read it, it's going. I just remember finding this a bit boring. Just quite hard to get into. Again, it's like, if this was a film, I'd find it cute, but like, even as a film, I'd watch it once and never think of it again. So I'm finding it quite hard to then dedicate the hours it would require. But it is less than 300 pages, so I definitely am going to give this another go at Christmas. and see if I end up liking it. I'm going to have to stop explaining what all of these are about because we're 3 books in and there's about 80 more to talk about. The Devil Wears Prada, one of my favourite books ever. No, it's not. One of my favourite films ever. But I was just struggling again with the writing style. It's like that 2000, works well in a film, hard to translate for me into a book. But I'll give it another go. The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if I finished this or not. That's why it's on this pile. I read this for uni and I can't remember if I did finish it or if I started rereading it and didn't finish the reread. So I need to get to the bottom of if I've actually finished this, because if I haven't, I do want to. But I can't remember if I ever finished it. So that's why it's on the pile, so I can, yeah, kind of look into how far I actually got, because I really can't remember. The next one, Champion by Marie Lu. I loved the first one in this series, hated the second one. And I find Day's chapters very jarring. I like June's chapters, who is the female main character. But I hate being in Day's head. I hate his chapters. Why is the text bold? Why does he think the things and says the things he said? I just don't like Day. So I'm finding it quite hard to get through, to be honest. The Bride Test, I liked the kiss quotient well enough. But I'm struggling to get into this because their whole relationship is built on a lie. Like, she's fully deceiving him, which I'm finding quite difficult to then root for the relationship when it's built on deception. Hamnet, I think I forced myself to read this because I have an English degree and I feel guilty that I don't read any smart books, but at the end of the day I don't want to read smart books. I want to read rom-coms. I want to read From the Cove with Love. I want to read Divine Rivals. That has beautiful writing, but like this, I was just really bored of this. This isn't going well, is it? Wall, why is this man been walking upstairs for so long? Like, just do something other than walk up the stairs. And The Notebook. I only got a couple of pages into this and I just wasn't in the mood for kind of a war kind of book, but I think I actually could like this if I just sit down and read it. Right, now moving on to the books that I haven't even tried to read yet and I've owned for years. You'd Be Home Soon. This is one that, to be honest, I doubt I will read. I don't know why I ever bought this because her books are all very sad. I've already unhauled another one that I owned and never read because I don't want to be sad. So I doubt I will ever try that one, but if you really want me to, try and convince me. But I probably won't read that off my own back. I'll probably just donate that one. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I bought this 5, 6, 7 years ago now when I was more in my YA era. I still love YA. I just fear this might be on the cringy side of YA. So I'm a bit hesitant to go into that one. The Penelopiad, is that how you say it, by Margaret Atwood. I bought this because it has a beautiful cover and I do like Margaret Atwood's other books. I'm just like, I'm never compelled to read them. With these types of books, like, I'll probably like this well enough, but I'm just never compelled. Although, look, there's not much text on the pages, so maybe this will be an easy one to read. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I read my first John Green book this year. I'd never even read The Fault in Our Stars. I read it this year and loved it. So I'm actually quite excited to read more of his books now. I've just not got around to them yet. This one I bought because it's part of a series. I don't think this is the first one though. No, this is the last book in the series. I bought it because it had a nice cover, but I don't own the other ones. So I think I might get the other ones like when they're cheap on Kindle. See if I like the first one. If I do, I'll carry on. If I don't like the first one, I'll take this back to the charity shop that I impulsively bought it from. My Dark Vanessa. Again, I've had this for years. It's a beautiful hardback copy, but I know this is a very sad book. And yeah, I'm just worried that I'll find it too kind of hard hitting and too sad, but I will probably give this one a go because I know it's a very important topic that is spoken about in this book. I'm just nervous about it. And then we've got the other 2 books in the Wool trilogy, so obviously if I don't finish the first one I won't be reading these, but we will see how I end up feeling about the first one. Carrying on, we're now moving on to another pile. Talk Bookish to Me by Kate Bromley. I got this in the works on the 3 for £5. It's 3 for £6 now. That shows how long I've had this. Yeah, I got this in there just kind of on a whim. I'm sure it'll be fine, but like, do I want to read books that I just know in my head are going to be fine? I probably need to look at some reviews for this. And if it's got like some really good reviews, I'll give it a go. But ultimately, there's so many romances I want to read that, do I just want to read one that I think is just fine? Probably not. Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. Never seen the film, never read the book, bought it on a whim, but I'll probably give it a go at some point. Obviously that's a similar kind of vibe to The Notebook where it's a film. I've never seen The Notebook either, by the way. Another one that is a film, Crazy Rich Asians. Bought it on a whim in a charity shop because I've heard of it, but I've never seen the film. What is this? The Colorado Kid by Stephen King. Bought this for 10p. Never read anything by Stephen King. Do I really want to? Not particularly, but there it is. The one that comes after Aristotle and Dante. Again, obviously if I don't finish the first one I'm not going to read this, but if I like the first one I've got the second one ready to go. Same thing, Heart Principle. This comes after whatever, the Bride Test, is that what it's called? So I've got this ready to go again if I end up liking it. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, I'm sure I will like this, but it's been a long time. This has been sat in my shelves. Would I rather just watch, is it a film or a TV show? Would I rather just watch that? Maybe. I'm also put off because I don't love The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm sorry. The first one was okay. I hated the second one, and then I still haven't read the third one. So that has put me off a little bit. Hanu and Ishi's Guide to Fake Dating, another little romance that I've had for a long time. Again, I probably will read this one. It's a cute sapphic romance. For some reason I just haven't gotten around to it. Stephen King, The Dark Half. Why did I buy a book this thick from an author I've never read with tiny font that I have no interest in reading? The Lord only knows. The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. I actually have read and enjoyed Ray Bradbury before, so I will read this at some point. George Eliot, Scenes of a Clerical Life. Bought this for my literature degree. I think we were supposed to read it at some point. Obviously I didn't end up finishing it. I got to page 16. So sorry if any of my tutors are watching this, if we were supposed to read the whole thing. Clearly I didn't. Will I ever read this? The chances of me reading this, let's be honest, are zero. I'm not going to read that. The Number One Ladies Detective Agency. I tried to read this when I was a bit younger and didn't love it, but I feel like now I'm a bit older I will appreciate this more. It's set in, I believe it's set in Africa, and it's about like a small African village, which I think I'll find a lot more interesting now that I'm not like 14 with no idea about the world. What's this called? You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. This is a beautiful cover, and I had high hopes for this, but then I've heard awful reviews of it, which has put me off. And I know that like we should form our own opinions on things, but it has put me off that I've heard such bad reviews. I think, is this like an average of 3 point something on Goodreads? So again, it's just when I've got so many books I own that I'm so excited about. This isn't my whole physical TBR, by the way. Let's get that straight. There's a lot more than this. These are just the books that are going if I've not read them by the end of the year. We've got a whole cart full over there. But when I've got so many books that I'm excited about, do I want to read something that I've not got good vibes about? I don't know, but then I feel bad getting rid of a book and not even giving it a try. I don't know. Similar vein, Songbirds by Christy Leftere. I read The Beekeeper of Aleppo. I liked it, but I didn't love it. So again, do I want to read a book that I might like but not love? But then again, I am like a historical fiction kind of gal, so maybe I should at least give this one a go. I bought it because it was £3 in a sale for a hardback about 4 years ago. These last few I believe are all fantasy books. So a few of them, the next three, are special edition fairy loots that I bought because they were special edition fairy loots. I don't really know what any of them are about, and I've still not read them. So Fire with Fire by Destiny Soraya, I think is how you say her surname. Gorgeous cover, lovely sprayed edges. Couldn't tell you what it was about, but I need to stop keeping hold of books because they look nice, so I'm forcing myself to read these special editions. Forest of Souls by Laurie M. Lee, same thing, beautiful cover. I don't know what it's about. I think these three are all YA fantasies. And then Shielded by Kaylin Flanders, beautiful cover, same story, don't know what it's about. And then the last two are both fantasies as well. We've got Lord of the Rings. The one before this is on my TBR for this month. Have I read it? Nope, I have not. I started this series years ago. I like it enough. I think I will love the films. I need to watch the films. It's very much my vibe. I just look at the size of that text I'm sorry, I don't even think you can tell on camera how small that is. Let me get a normal book with normal sized font so you can see how ridiculous it is. This is Lord of the Rings. Why is it so close together? I just think, oh, I could just watch the film. And like, the books are better than the film, but like, I've read The Hobbit, I've read the first book in the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they were fine, but like, I could just watch the film. Anyway, last one is The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. Beautiful cover, gorgeous sprayed edges. Don't know what it's about, but I think it's a YA fantasy. The story of my life. And they are all the books that, if I've not read them by the end of this year, they're out. Should we count how many there are? I don't even know if this is a realistic goal because I've not counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 35. So I would have to really prioritise these to get them all read by the end of the year. Oh, there's just so many books I actually want to read. But I know there will be some hidden gems in this pile. I need to go through and actually look what they're all about, and then weed out the ones that, based on the premise, I just don't feel like I'm going to be interested in, and then pick out some ones that I'm actually excited about once I know what they're about. I don't know, my foot's gone numb now, so I'm going to go. Thanks for watching this video. I'm not sure there's really anything to gain from it, but if you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!